To stop a comet, a nuke. The nuke fails. The comet hits Yucatan.
The crater at this stage is about 60 miles in diameter, and it's lined with partly vaporized and even melted rock. At this stage, the crater begins to collapse under gravity. The floor rises, the adjacent terrain collapses into the cavity, and we're left with a lake of lava 100 miles in diameter. It only takes a couple of seconds for these enormous temperatures to cause an expanding fireball. This fireball is hot, initially 10 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Anything within 1,000 miles that sees that fireball will be incinerated.
Houston is gone. 4,000 miles away, the ripple effect.
Oh no.
Impact. That was the EMP wave.
An electromagnetic pulse destroys all electronic devices. The pulse wave is invisible, but the evidence is not. The signs are in the heavens. Electrically charged particles create effects like the Northern Lights.
The tremendous amount of energy involved in an impact of this magnitude would cause the release of charged particles, in particular electrons, which would be moving around very, very rapidly. And these particles would give rise to very powerful electric and magnetic fields, which would induce currents in any sort of electrical conductor. Anything containing a computer chip would probably be destroyed.
The pulse waves race around the world. A new dark age for planet Earth.
Go home. Go home soon, honey. Don't be afraid.
Now, the fallout. A cloud of dust and ash.
Hey, Sean! Come look at this!
The cloud dumps a burning rain. It's fallen before. Jan Smit has analyzed the comet impact that wiped out the dinosaurs.
We have here a special core from the Atlantic Ocean, just one of the many. You have here the slowly deposited sediments of the latest Cretaceous, of the Mesozoic era. Every 10 centimeters is 1,000 years or so. But then, 65 million years ago, we see this layer of green spherules and brownish stuff, and that was deposited only a few days, which demonstrates the enormous power of the impact some 3,000 kilometers away.
The world's most famous skyline disappears. The homeless have it all to themselves. Soon, they'll be gone too. The fallout has just begun. After the ash comes the flood. ripples round the world. The comet slams into the Gulf of Mexico. It triggers a tidal wave 3,000 feet high, more than twice as tall as the Empire State Building.
This initial wave immediately breaks down to 30 to 50 meter and loses more height when it runs into deeper water, but it conserves its energy.
Dr. Weiss is a geophysicist who studies tsunamis for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
The wave height goes down in deeper water, but it created a longer wavelength, and this wavelength travels to the coast. The tsunami is not the flow of water, it's a flow of energy, which means that the water particle transfers its energy to the next one. The approaching end pressures water on the front of the wave and builds up a gigantic wall of water.
The Gulf is already charred by a mammoth fireball. What's left is drowned by a tsunami that rolls hundreds of miles inland.
The tsunami waves leave the Gulf of Mexico and propagate into the Atlantic Ocean.
From ground zero, waves swamp the Caribbean and race north. A peripheral wave 20 feet high reaches New York City. The wave rushes 60 miles inland before finally receding, leaving ruin in its wake. Moving 300 miles an hour, wave speed toward Europe. They hit with size and strength undiminished. Despite warnings, millions refused to flee, unable to fathom such a flood. Now, they lie drowned in the proof.
Wait!
Come on, Chuck.
A different wave hits the Pacific. A heat wave. All over the world, the temperature reaches 212 degrees, the boiling point of water. No one can grasp it, or stop it, or outrun it. The Baka know nothing of comets from space. To them, it's a curse from heaven. They enact a desperate ritual to break the spell.